Hello everyone, this is Mr. John. This time I would like to talk to you a little bit about listening. We have chosen the listening as being our second topic because of its influence in human being, since it affects the thought of man before affecting his behavior. It is based on listening that our ancestors Adam and Eve had succeeded to disobey the will of God, just by the fact of listening to the message of the serpent. Listening plays a primary role in favor or disfavor of man. The success or failure of man is based mainly on what he chooses to listen or refuses to listen to. That is why we're going to talk about it. On this, we will define the listening. We're going to talk about the active listening and its challenges, and then we will finish with a recommendation. What is a listening? According to Larousse, listening is to pay attention to what someone says in order to hear and understand it. But we would like to define listening as the fact that the man receives a message from another person or his own subconscious mind and assign a meaning to it with the intention to respond. We have four elements at the level of listening. We have hearing, interpretation, assessment, and answer. Hearing is to capture a sound. The hearing is an involuntary physiological process which allows man to receive the auditory stimulus. The hearing is different from the sensation. Hearing has nothing to do with the selection of the message. The sensation that a man has by listening to the message from another person is a voluntary act. Therefore, a man chooses to listen to some messages and pays attention to them while avoiding others. Our way to listen to the message is influenced by selective attention. A selective attention is the way to choose one message over the other. Paying attention to the message means that the man accepts it in his memory system. Therefore, it is very important to understand the impact of what a man chooses to listen or refuses to listen to. Interpretation. Interpretation is the fact to assign or to give a meaning to any message. The goal of the man should be to understand the meaning of the speaker, but with the interpretation, the man is limited in his perspective. He listens and filters the message using his personal attitude, his contention, his need, his value, his experience, his knowledge, his hope, his fear, his purpose, his level of education, and his emotion. It simply means that the man brings his own particular limitation to the hearing and the exact interpretation of the message. Assessment. Assessment is the fact of forming an opinion or making a judgment concerning the message. It is a step of quality control that the poor listeners often choose one side of the message because of their precipitation to the judgment. Then we have answer. Any person in good mental health has two types of memory: the short-term memory and a long-term. The short-term memory is a functional memory which lasts from 1 to 60 seconds before deciding on the message which must be preserved in the brain or the long-term memory. But if the man does not identify the message as being important, the message is rejected. By the selective attention of the man, he concentrates most of the time on certain type of messages, and especially the kind that he loves to listen to. But sometimes he may miss a good message, even the kind that he would like to listen to, because of the external or internal noises, meaning the influence of the people around him, doubt, or willingly hardens his heart. The man has the power to select all the messages that he receives if he pays attention to them, because his memory plays a very important role in his ability to hear and select messages. Nor can he be able to select a message without hearing it. Therefore, active listening helps the man to better make a good judgment on the message. Active listening. Active listening is a hard work. An active listener considers the speaker by paying attention to him or by paying attention to what he's saying, and he responds to him accordingly. He takes the responsibility to understand the meaning of the message. We should know that every man is able to be an active listener, but sometimes it does not happen because of the following challenges. We have lack of interest, distraction of delivery, external and internal noises, arrogance, pre-programmed emotion response, attracted by a spirit of revenge, pretend, and jump to the conclusion. Lack of interest is just because the man found the message essentially insignificant, or because he determines that it is too difficult for him to understand, or either that is virtually impossible for him to realize it. Distraction of delivery. The man has a tendency to judge the personal characteristic of the speaker instead of listening to his message. External and internal noises. The man has a tendency to be easily influenced by the people around him, and sometimes also he has doubt in his heart. These things may prevent him to receive an important message which may cost him later. Arrogance. It is having the attitude of who knows everything, or of generalization such as him always, or he can never, can create hostility in men. Pre-programmed emotion response. This is when the speaker deals with a subject on which the man is allergic to. He will get a strong emotional reaction simply because the man says that the speaker is spirited only to attack, although the speaker can be innocent of the situation of the man. Attracted by the spirit of revenge is the fact of being in disagreement, not with the message, but with the individual or the speaker himself, then simply sought an opportunity to interrupt or causes a discussion to annul. Discover the fact of here. Discover the fact of the here. This is the choice for man to listen only to what he likes. Pretend. Pretend, sometimes we call it pseudo-listening. It is the way that the man gives his impression to the speaker that he is listening while he's pretending more than listening. Jump to the conclusion. Jump to the conclusion is the fact that the man thinks more quickly at the place of the speaker even before he could finish his thought. The man concludes the message according to his comprehension. It struggles in his thought, a concept totally independent of the message that can push him to become bored and stop listening. We also have other barriers. Other barriers include laziness, fatigue, lack of sincerity, and lack of eye contact. Listening is an essential skill for a parental success. To maintain good relationships, to be a good leader, and to have a soothing school or professional environment. The following points are the benefits of listening. Learning means that the man will be able to discover new things. Maintaining relationships. The man will have good relationships and will maintain them, especially when it comes to couples relationship. Listening is very necessary. Making intelligent decisions. The man listens to others for advice before making a decision. Time saving. Sometimes something that could take him long to resolve may take him less time because he is open to listening. Shift. A possibility to the man to be able to make the choice between good and evil. Avoid the unfortunate incident and errors. This helps men to avoid feeling guilty for making a decision that he might regret later. Ask intelligent questions. The man gives his time to understand the topic in such a way that allows him to ask questions based on the subject. Make accurate assessment. Let the man to have the accuracy before making a decision. According to the Attic of Bibian, listening is perhaps the most beautiful gift that man can give to someone. That is to say, not with word, but with the eye, the face, the smile, and the entire body that you are important and interesting to me. Recommendation. We have to learn to give our time, our thought, and our energy to listen carefully to what someone else is saying in order to be able to understand the idea or his intention based on what he's saying. This will allow us to observe how the message is presented in order to be able to find all the other indices that may be evident in the delivery of the message. This concentration is a clear performance advantage that an effective listener may apply. This will help us to understand if the motivation behind the message is rather for our own good or bad. The hearing is a sense, but listening is an art. Thank you for now. Until next time.